amateur sports. We see you on the court, but when you in the field, you ain't just gotta score. Keep holding Dorian, they just wanna see you win. Just go put the work.
What's going on? This is Nothin But Net, and we are here live. We got a very, very special guest today, Kellen Buffington, aka Mr. Buff, from TV5 Report. He throws many basketball tournaments. Tyler, give him a little bit of introduction of how you met him and where you come to know Mr. Buff.
Met Buff probably about 5-6 months ago over Twitter. Got in a group message with each other. Shout out to them real sources. Man, we linked up and I got a chance to actually pick his brain and see how much of attention and detail he is about the game, and the way he evaluates talent is second to none. And I kind of gravitated to him real quickly because of that. And we've just grown relationships since then.
So without further ado, Buff, welcome to the show.
Appreciate you.
How are things going down there in Texas, man?
Man, you know what?
Whoa!
COVID cases are down. That's good for health and it's good for people.
No doubt.
So that's a good thing, man. It's hot out here. Guys out here itching the hoop, man. I'm trying to feed it.
Yes, sir.
For sure. So it's good, man. Moving in the right direction. Dallas got a lot of media, so guys are still getting a lot of offers. Guys been working for their guys, man. So it's good stuff going on down here.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the first show of Nothin But Net. What we do is we're gonna warm up.
Okay.
So we're gonna give you some rapid fire questions to just give a little warm up and let people know a few things about you and what you think about a few things. So the first question, Tyler, I'm gonna let you handle that one.
I'm gonna start it in. We're gonna go. We finna set it on fire. You live in Texas. Who would have been the hottest 17U squad out there in the Texas area, man?
I'm gonna go with Southern Assault, 3 SSB, led by Harrison Ingram, top 10 in the country in 2021. Wade Taylor, top 125 in the country in 2021. That team won a national. Well, they won the Adidas finale last year in LA. They won the whole Adidas thing, and 16U and 17U. The program was a sweep. So the 16U team rolled up and added to the best in the country, Harrison Ingram and Wade Taylor, and they played the first two events, and it wasn't even close. Like, they tough, well coached. Montvale coach Marcus Smart and Phil Forte. Back in the day, won a lot of games with those guys. That was the best team, and I think everybody would tell you that. I think the Hoops would have been really good too. They would have been really good too. But Assault, for me, on paper, they would have been the number one team in Texas, no question.
So my question is the best individual performance you've seen at the high school level.
Best individual performance I've seen at the high school level. You know what? De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox at the Thanksgiving Hoop Fest. Shout out to my boy Glenn Smith, entrepreneur, been doing the Hoop Fest in Dallas for 10 years. De'Aaron Fox versus Andrew Jones. Both of them ended up being down All-American. And it was like a heavyweight fight for 3.5 quarters. And Fox just left him. Like, he was just on the gas. He was so aggressive and he did whatever he wanted to. So Fox, recent memory, man, he was like a machine, man. He was a machine. Like, it was nothing you could do to stop him. It was nothing you could do with him. So Fox for sure.
Man, that crazy athleticism, man.
Fox,
crazy.
What we like to call a dude. Dude, Fox, one of the best players to ever come out of Texas, man. No question.
That's saying something too. No doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, so the best high school coach in Texas.
Man. You know what? Best high school coach in Texas. Let me kind of give you an overview. I'm gonna give you number one.
Okay.
We're gonna work our way up.
Okay.
Farron Douglas at Lancaster. Several state championships. They've had Mike Miles, Elijah Thomas, who went to Clemson. I think Doug has won 3 state championships over probably like the last 6 or 7 years. Peavy, Duncanville High School, back-to-back 6A state champions in the largest classification in Texas. Micah Peavy, his dad is the coach of that team. He's on his way to Texas Tech. Jemias Ramsey the year before that. Let me tell you what Peavy does. Peavy takes the most talented kids and gets everything out of them. It's one thing to say he has talented kids. Yes, that's fine. But he wins with them. So 2-time back-to-back state champion 6A, I got to give it to Coach David Peavy right now at Duncanville High School for sure.
Gotcha. Okay. Best rivalry in Texas high school basketball.
High school. Man, you know what? I'm going to still say Duncanville versus DeSoto.
Okay.
Like it's lost. They back in the same district now. They switched them out of districts not too long ago. That's what we call like the Battle of the Belt line. 2 urban schools with a ton of history that dates back to the 80s and the 90s. They both done won national championships at some point. I will put that on a level like a Vashon and a CBC. Like
Okay.
it's going to be packed. It's going to be rough. It's going to be hot. It's going to be intense. Duncanville versus DeSoto for sure in any sport. All smoke.
In any sport too. Dang.
Mm-hmm. 2 of the best football programs in the country too.
Right. And the last question is, who will have the best freshman year in college basketball that's from Texas?
Greg Brown. He Austin kid, one of the top in the country, fills a void that Texas had. All Courtney Ramey got to do is throw it up, T. That's all he got to do. Throw it up. He'll go get it. I'm going to say Greg. I'm going to put Greg Brown down for 15 points and 8.5 rebounds a game and 2 blocks. Book it.
You
know, I take that back. Greg Brown, Cade Cunningham. I forgot Cade. Cade was in my bird. Cade guarded up on the stage, 6'8", 220 point guard.
Woo! He's ridiculous. I watched him play Mac Irvin.
They was on the same AAU team, man.
Right, yeah. Going crazy, man. Dude is a 6'8" point guard. Unbelievable. Y'all gonna see him. Greg Brown.
Right.
He jump out the gym. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Freak athlete with a high motor, and he is what we like to call a goon. Real goon.
Let me ask you a question about Let me ask you this question, Mr. Brown, Buff.
Okay.
Year 1, how does he do at Texas? How does he adjust?
He gonna be fine. Cause let me tell you this, Texas got to let him rock. Cause Greg could have went to the G League and got a check. He's going to UT to get busy. They got to let him get busy. They know that, though. And they need him to. Like, they need for Greg Brown to be really good for that team to be what they're supposed to be next year. They got really good senior guard, or upperclassmen guards in Matt Coleman, Andrew Jones, Courtney Ramey, Jace Fevers. They need that live, high-jumping body, man. They got the veteran leadership. That young fella's going to come in and kind of infuse some energy into that program. And I think they got a chance to be really good, man. Really good this year.
Man. So let's tell the people a little bit about your background, your high school, getting into college, and then what you're doing right now.
Okay. So originally from Compton, California.
Compton.
From Compton, man. Went to Centennial High School, played for Coach Rob Palmer, who is now the assistant coach at UCLA. So my high school coach he right after we got out of high school, maybe a couple years later, he took a job at Long Beach State. Now he's at UCLA. Played with Ellis Miles, who went to the Final Four at Louisville. Anthony Coleman is now the associate head coach at Arizona State. A lot of big time dudes, man. And the best one I played was Omar Weaver. Y'all never heard of. He got a little sidetrack. But he was 6'7", 6'8", 200 wing, could shoot it. We were really good. We wasn't as good as Steve and them, but we were really good. So went through that. Came to Dallas to go to school at Park Queen College, HBCU. Always had a love for the game. I could never shake the game. And I kind of tell this story all the time. I've been doing scouting reports since I was a senior in high school. Like, I remember we played a team. Well, the first game we played a team for Corona Centennial with a guy named was Jamal Williams. Jamal is the head coach for Seattle Rotary now with Ben. Okay. I had a whole scouting report lined up. Like, I pulled the information off the website, had they guys, I highlighted dudes, what they did well. I was showing the whole team. I showed Coach Palmer, my coach. They was like, "Buh, we just gonna do what we gonna do." That was way back before dudes was really scouting like that.
Right.
So that was my first scouting report as a senior. I didn't even know it was a scouting report. But I just loved analyzing and breaking down information. This kid does this, he does this. They kind of laughed at me, but we all laugh about it now because it's what I do for a living. You see what I'm saying?
No doubt. It
was a good deal, man. So I did that. So I've been scouting that long. Moved to Dallas, started my own program called the Blueprint 5. Believe it or not, the Blueprint, even TV5 Reports, was all built in from Jay-Z, my favorite rapper of all time. So the Blueprint. With every TV, that's the Blueprint.
Okay.
That's the model. I'm giving you the blueprint on how to evaluate prospects. You know? So that's why you see the back. Yeah, man. I'm going to give you the blueprint on how to do this. So I started my own program. I did that for about 5 or 6 years, independent, no money. I did 1 year with YGC 36 with Marcus Smart. Went back to my own program and just was trying to put kids in school, kind of guys that kind of went under the radar. So I coached my last group. They were class of 2018. Once I got them through, I'm like, I'm going to go to the scouting side. You know, like that's what I love to do. And I felt like I could help way more kids scouting a large pool of prospects instead of coaching 8 to 9 of them every summer.
No doubt.
So that was about 3 years ago, man. And, you know, God's been good. And I just been able to take off in this business by doing what I say I'm going to do and providing a quality product. I always said I was going to Blue Magic this thing. I was going to give them the best product for the price.
No doubt. No doubt.
The price of the brick done went up, Tyler. They gotta have it. Yeah, they gotta have it. So it's been good, man. I got into doing events. At first, I was just scouting, and that's the one thing. When you start your own business, I don't think you really understand the different streams of income that come from it, or what else you can extend on. I was happy getting my little scouting service checks. I was charging $400 a year. You know, I was happy getting them. I'm like, man, you know what? I think I'm gonna do it, Kenna. So the first event I ever did was called the Next Wave. I had about 100 kids. The first camp I ever did, Mike Miles, who's a freshman at TCU, Baylor Head, Loyola Chicago, Jalen Posey, Stephen F. Austin. All these dudes came and it was a success. So that camp is going into its 3rd year. Then I started Who Want to Smoke, which was my first tournament. You know, I had the Texas Titans, had Nike Pro Skills, and everything went viral. It was Ball This Life. It was Slim. And I started thinking to myself, ooh. Like maybe I can get down doing some events too. So the scouting led to the events. So now I'm kind of doing both now, man. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of work, but I really enjoy it, man, because the events allow me to get all of the top players in one gym and evaluate them against each other. So that works for me.
Man, that ain't nothing like doing what you love, though.
Nothing.
Like nothing.
Nothing. Not even close, man.
No doubt.
Hey, I seen you kind of touched a little bit upon bringing the best guy in, right?
Right.
You recently took a trip to Kansas
City.
Yes,
sir.
You started at the Sunflower Showcase. Let's talk a little bit about some prospects that impressed you. Let's speak a little bit about some teams that you didn't know about that you got a chance to figure out who they were.
Okay. So I really was trying to purpose my trip. I thought I was going to see basically Brad Beal. Then I found out it was really separate. It was Pep Team, right? He had a couple of guys with him, but he had 2 studs with him that would have been playing on the EYBL circuit. They was playing grassroots sizzle with Chet Holmgren, who's the number 1 player in the country, and a lot of stuff. Chet wasn't there. He didn't show. So I'm like, okay, cool. But I got a chance to see Jordan Nesbitt, who I had not seen live, and Nicholas Kern. So, I mean, from the jump, man, Jordan Nesbitt. Let's talk about Jordan first. Tough. Just toughness, man. Just gritty. Just, I'm going to go get it off the glass. I don't care if you pass it to me. I'll go get it on my own. Tough, man. I thought he played really well. A lot of guys that kind of make it seem like he wasn't skilled. And sometimes when you're really tough, people don't, they overlook your talent because toughness is something that's lacking from a lot of guys right now.
No doubt.
But I was like, yo, this kid is just as talented as he is tough. So I watched him, man, and I'm like, hey, he's a legit wing, got good size, long arms. He can handle it. He'll rebound. Like, I expect Jordan Nesbitt, man, to make an impact his freshman year of school wherever he decides to go because of his toughness, his size, and I thought he shot the ball well, Tyler. I did.
He's improved a lot.
Yeah, man. And I think he's versatile, though. Yeah. Like Jordan's tough enough to guard some 4s. He moves laterally well enough to guard some 2s and 3s. So depending on where he ends up, man, he's going to be very versatile defensively and offensively, man, because he plays bigger than what he is. And he's legit, 6'6", right?
Yeah.
But he play like he's
6'6",
yeah, he play like he's 6'8". He play like a monster, man. And the one thing like the team they was playing wasn't that good. I was impressed with how hard he competed regardless of who was on the floor.
That's hard to find in a kid.
And like I tell people all the time, I've never seen Jordan before. So the one time I got a chance to see him, that's all I know. So if I call around and double check, say, hey man, does this kid play this hard all the time? But I don't think he could say he wasn't playing nobody. And right. He was like a savage, just getting to it. Nick Kern, man, kind of long, lanky, 2'3", wiggle. I like how he handled it, man. He was getting to the cup. Explosive once he get 2 feet in that paint too, man. Like you can see his athleticism. Once he gets stronger, Nick is gonna get better. And I kind of saw his offense. If St. Louis got him, he'd be a steal in the A-10. Like that kid would have a chance to be all league one day once he locks in and gets bigger and stronger. But I think he can play high major basketball. I think he has some value defensively, and his ability to get to the basket without using a ball screen off the bounce is everybody doesn't have that either. So I thought that those 2 guys, they were good, man. They were good. They were good. They were really good. So those 2 stuck out there. Then I went to hardwood events. That was another tournament going in KC. Saw this kid, man, from Nebraska, Isaac Trout. And listen,
he's a baller.
Come on, man. I got a tip. I can't take all the credit because I didn't know who he was. I got a tip to go see him. I actually had a college coach, my boy Ali at Colorado State. He said, Buff, you can't see that. You got to go see this kid. And everything he told me, I was like, it ain't no way this kid can do all that at this size. And he was taller. He ain't 6'8". That kid is 6'9", and shoots it, handles it, dunk, and he tough. Tough kid too, man.
Hey, but that jumper real though.
He made 3 in a row when I watched him. Three straight, 1 off the bounce. He made 1 like a step back. And then once he went baseline, ripped through, sit on that rim with 2 hands and started screaming, I didn't have to see no more. That was enough for me. That was enough. And they say that kid lives so deep in Nebraska, you got to fly into Omaha and drive 2.5 hours to get to him. Dang. Every college coach in the country needs to get on that plane and drive to go see that kid because he is definitely worth going to see and recruiting. Like, no question. 2022, man. If that kid was in Texas or a bigger market, that kid be top 25 in the country right now, man.
Woo.
No question. He just picked up Stanford today.
Sure.
Iowa State yesterday. He's picking them up. Picked
up Iowa State the other day?
Yes, sir. I like him. I like him a lot. So Isaac Trout stood out.
Hold on. We call that the Buff effect.
So Trout was really good.
Sir.
It was a kid, I forgot his name, plays for Yanders Law. I think he's a Mizzou commit. So Mizzou got one coming. I got to pull up his name, but he was pretty good. Yanders Law is a program been around for a long time, not sponsored anything like that, but they're really good out of the Midwest. So that kid was pretty good. Then I went to MoCan minicamp. Shout out to my boy Reese, the real.
Yes, sir. Let's get into it.
I got the invite. Number one, I would be remiss without saying this. MoCan stuff is different. I'm not going to say from everybody, but it's different from a lot of stuff I've personally seen. Now, understand, I have not seen everybody. I've seen less people than I have more folks. But the way it's run, and I'm going to give you an example of this. They did a shell drill for an hour with their top team, a 17U team, all defense. Nobody took a shot for an hour, and they knew nobody was going to take a shot for an hour. 90% of AAU programs, they cannot get through nothing like that. It's no way. Without somebody crying or whining or a parent talking about, we didn't pay for this, what are we doing? Those kids guarded for an hour, man, knowing what nobody going to shoot the ball. It's the culture over there is a little bit different, right? So you get over there, I meet Matt Souther, who's a director, two-time EYBL champs, MoCan. And a couple of guys really stuck out to me. Number one was the big kid from Hamilton Heights, 2022 6'11" center, Felix Akpala. Hey, man, that kid is 70th in the country.
Hey, you came back in our group and kept raving about him.
Hey, man, listen, MoCan got some really good players in that program. He made a lot of dudes look like baby food that night. And it wasn't nothing they was doing wrong. It was everything that big kid was doing right, man. Now, he still got to get a little bit more polished, but I watched him make a three. That kid blocked at least 9 shots over the 3 scrimmages. And the scrimmages were like 9-minute quarters, 2 quarters. And he was on the 16U team, so they were playing against Kennedy Chandler, Taurus Reed, Bryce Hopkins, Louisville commit. So it wasn't against no scrubs. He playing against burger kids, man. You know, and he was dominant. He was the best player in the gym, and I wrote that in my article. And Reese will tell you the same thing. Like, that kid was the best player in the gym. In the same gym as Kennedy Chandler, he was the best prospect in the gym. But Kennedy Chandler, I got a real respect for what that kid was able to do on the EYBL last summer, essentially playing up. He's a lot smaller than what I thought he was.
Yeah.
So I'm not down on him because of that. I'm actually like, yo, this little joker is tough. Because he was getting busy as a starting point guard on an EYBL Peach Jam championship team. And that kid is 5'10", maybe 5'10 and a half. Kennedy can't weigh more than 165 pounds, man.
Yeah.
Like, he can't. And he started having his way the latter half. His team started losing. He was like, forget this. And he just got wherever he wanted, defensively locked up. He's going to be really good at Tennessee when we go there.
He competes.
No question. No question. And he's actually taking a prep school route going to Sunrise Christian.
Oh.
Yes, he's going to Sunrise in Kansas. And
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on, we got to get the plug real quick. Where's Sunrise playing at, Buck?
Sunrise is going to play. If we can have a scrimmage with coronavirus, they'll be down here. So Kennedy Chandler will be in Dallas, Texas at a big high school scrimmage event I got going on November 7th, man. So we'll see how it plays out.
Okay.
So I'll elaborate. Bryce Hopkins, Louisville commit. 6'7", big body, inside, outside. Kind of reminds me of Ryan Gomes, who used to play for Providence and the Boston Celtics a while back, man. He was around my age. I think Ryan came out in 2000 like I did. You put a 3 on him, he gonna bully him. You put a 4 on him, he gonna dance. Like, great feet. Big kids with great feet, like, they can just kind of get to where they want because of their size and their feet. Like, he's got great feet. So, and he got a knack for scoring. You know, sometimes we talk about the feel in the game, like he has feel. He has a feel for scoring. Like he kind of understands angles and how to get to his spots. It's like a real knack, and you can see it clear as day with the way he plays. Like you can't stop that kid from scoring. Louisville got a good one with him. They got a really good one with him, man. So those guys stuck out. I'm gonna tell you who else stuck out. Willie Lightfoot. Willie Lightfoot was pretty just tough kid, energy, toughness. He didn't back down from Kennedy Chandler. Now Kennedy still got off, but Willie had a really good session that night, man. Like he proved to me, like, you know, Willie is tough, man. Like he can make some stuff happen. So Willie was good. Willie was good. That was a good experience for me though, because since last August, I've only been able to evaluate kids in Texas against each other. We've been robbed of the national events because of COVID, right?
Right.
So me going to the Midwest, seeing some other guys made me appreciate some of the guys we had here more, or even feel like, hey, man, this dude, you ain't these dudes. You know what I'm saying? So it gave me kind of like a comparison as far as evaluations go nationally from that standpoint.
Gotcha. So we gonna put you in a head coach position.
Okay.
You down in Texas and you recruiting. Your top 10. Who you going to see and why?
It's a lot of dudes to see, man. Top 10, I gotta pull it up because I got it down.
Okay. And while you pulling it up, I'm gonna go ahead
and understand this ain't in no order.
Right.
But it's definitely my top 10 in Texas. Shout out to whoever don't like it. Shout out to whoever does. But 2021, Harrison Ingram. Number 9 in the country on Rivalries. Harrison Ingram. Number 9 in the country on Rivalries. Okay, go ahead.
You go ahead. I'm gonna pull up some video of Harrison.
So Harrison Ingram, number 9 in the country, Rivals 2021, lock for the Burger game, complete lock. One of the most versatile prospects in the country because of his high IQ, his feel for the game, and he's a big, strong, 6'7", 215, 220-pound kid who's a monster on the glass. Offers from Stanford, Memphis, Louisville, everybody but Duke, and Duke has actually started calling him recently. Baylor, everybody. So Harrison is definitely a kid you have to see, and we got him for 2 weekends before coronavirus kind of slowed us down in July, and he was dominant. Like it was ridiculous. Like every time Harrison is the floor in high school, he's a threat for a triple-double because of his size and his feel. Like he's arguably the best passer in the state of Texas, regardless of class. Like he plays point guard for that Southern Assault team. I see the video. Oh, he was phenomenal. I was at this game against Faith Family.
I have a little technical difficulty here.
Nah, you good. So the catch, look at him survey, bingo. Just look at the versatility. Go get it. So you got a 3-ball, you got a lob. Back-to-back plays, right? And this is what he really does phenomenally is rebound. Excellent. Pull up. Versatile, man. Just
that was smooth.
Yeah, man. Harrison's tough. Bingo. Like he's good. And I've watched that kid as much as anybody over the last few years, and he's gotten better. He was a little pudgy, came back, body looks completely different. We used to question his athleticism. He's showing that as well. Harrison is definitely must see in Texas, no question.
And so does he have offers?
Stanford, Michigan, Memphis, UCLA, Baylor, A&M. That kid got everybody. North Carolina, he got everybody, man. And deservedly so. Deservedly so. No question. So next up, I'm going to go with let's get Bryce Griggs on the line.
Okay.
Let's get Griggs. Bryce Griggs was in Houston, Texas, at Hightower High School. Bryce has been widely considered one of the top 3 to 5 prospects in the country, especially while he was young in middle school. One word describes him: killer, all caps. It does not matter who's in front of him, does not matter who's playing with him. Bryce is going to try to rip your heart out, man. Arguably the best scorer not named Imani Bates in the country in the 2022 class.
Ooh.
Never, ever seen Bryce Griggs play a bad game. Ever. The bigger the stage, the brighter the lights, the better he plays. Different. He's actually headed to San Diego to play at San Ysidro with one of the top 5 players in the country, 2023, Mikey Williams. If they can figure this out and share the ball, they'll be tough. But I'm gonna tell you this: Bryce ain't taking no backseat to nobody. He's not built like that. But he's must-see TV. Bryce might be the most exciting kid to watch in Texas, no question. Gotcha. And I want to see him chop up 4 or 5 people that I'm still getting ready to give you on his list. Like
Bryce Griggs is one of my favorite in 2022. Real deal, Holyfield. I told you, Buff, he's a magician with the ball, but most importantly, man, that toughness, I see it.
Different. And he's starting to get athletic. You know, Bryce is like, man, he ain't going to get athletic. Bryce start getting real athletic like he is now. It's going to be tough on folks. I'm going to tell you that for sure. No question.
Where do you think that backcourt rank?
It'd be really good. And I'm going to tell you this. I'm not as high on Mikey as a lot of other people are, but he's really good. Like Mikey is definitely one of the best high school prospects in the country in his class, man. And them two together, that's going to be a scary duo. And those two are actually going to play 2 other kids that's on this list in a game if we can get it.
So do you think Bryce becomes the primary ball handler for that team?
Yeah. They don't know that yet, but yeah. He ain't playing off the ball, man. I ain't rolling. I'm not rolling. Next, let's go with Anthony Black. And this is going to kind of go with Tyler a little bit because he's actually a two-sport star. He might be the best athlete in Texas.
Okay.
So Anthony Black.
You told me about him a minute ago.
I told the world. I told the world about Anthony Black.
So he's being recruited for both football and basketball.
So early, before we got to sneak in a couple of games in June, he had football offers from Baylor. He's a 6'6" wide receiver with freak athleticism, man. He had football offers from Baylor, Iowa State, Kansas, a couple of other schools, right? And I've always said, yes, he plays football, but he is a high major basketball prospect. Anthony Black, in my opinion, is one of the top 5 prospects and one of the best classes we've done seen come through Texas in a long time, 2022. Dad is actually in the Hall of Fame at Baylor as a basketball player. Mom soccer at Baylor. So I'm looking at genes. I'm looking at game. This kid right here, if he ever just said, I want to play basketball, he could be in the NBA. If he ever just said, I want to play football, he could play in the NFL. Whatever sport he decides to play, he will have the opportunity to make money from it. Play 6A football in Texas in one of the toughest districts we had with Allen High School, Denton Geyer. As a sophomore, the kid had like 960 yards receiving and 9 touchdowns. That's a lot in that league. Basketball, he plays point guard on his team, but I like him as a 2 guard with freak athleticism, great feel, and he just knows how to play, man. Young in the face, look at him, bingo. Tough, man, tough. He was underrated. Recently picked up basketball offers from Texas, Auburn, TCU, Baylor, Rice, Old Dominion. And I'm glad guys finally listen and open their eyes on this kid. Because if you're a big-time football recruit in Texas, they assume you're going to play football. And I completely understand that. But you cannot ignore what this kid can do on a basketball court. Look at him, man. Like, he just 6'6", man. So he's a part of that loaded 2022 class, and Anthony Black is as good as any kid we got. No question. So, AB, let's go. Langston Love, Baylor commit 2 days ago. Went to Montverde in Florida, originally from San Antonio, Texas. Played up with the Houston Hoops last summer. Was the best player on a loaded team that went to the Final Four in Peach Jam. Actually lost to Mocan to go to the championship. Langston was playing up last year, averaged 21 points a game on like 53% shooting from the field. Super efficient scorer, 6'4", probably 210 pounds. Just tough, efficient, mid-range, can knock down a three. Not a lot of wasted motion in his game. Just effective and efficient. I will expect him to put the ball in the basket at Baylor from the moment he steps on the floor. He's really good, really good. So Langston, who's next? Pull up Keyonte George.
Keyonte George.
Keyonte George. Keyonte George just transferred to a prep school here called iSchool of Louisville. They'll play a national schedule. Keontae's top 10 in the country in the class of 2022. 6'5" shooting guard. I remember seeing him in the 8th grade, and I thought he actually reminded me a lot of Brad Beal then. Phenomenal scorer, really growing into his body. A lot of people want to say he's a point guard. He can really pass, though. Like, he's got great feel. He's unselfish. But if I was coaching Keyonte, all I want him to focus on is putting the ball in the basket. Smooth. Like, I don't know if I ever seen Keyonte sweat in a basketball game. Not a shooter. Has gotten really explosive athletically over the last 18 months. Tight handle and can really pass it, man. Keyonte is definitely one of the best scorers regardless of class in the country. Like, I expect Keyonte to get a check from Adam Silver one day, putting the ball in the basket. Like I tell you, not a lot of kids are recruited to actually score. Keyonte is one of those kids who is going to be recruited to score from the minute he gets on campus. And he might get a check from Adam Silver one day, literally just to put the ball in the basket. Phenomenal scorer with great size, man. Keyonte George. Legit, man. Legit. That's what they look like. Next up, let's go Rylan Griffen. Rylan, Richardson High School. Bad dude. Bad dude. So Rylan's kind of a 6'5", 6'6" wing. Elite toughness, elite shot maker. Mid-range pull-up, butter. Three-pointer. He shot the three ball extremely well. He makes up half of one of the best backcourts in the country at Richardson High School. Big-time athlete, plays for one of the top 16U teams in the country, Drive Nation EYBL, and he is the guy. He is the guy that makes him go on that team. So Rylan Griffen from Richardson High School, tough, man. Tough. Daddy was a bad dude, too. Daddy played at UNT. Ooh, Daimian Collins. Have y'all ever seen Daimian Collins film?
I haven't until today.
Tyler, wait till you see this film. Please tell me you got film on Daimian Collins. Tyler.
Yeah, we got that film.
Hey, man, this kid is in Atlanta, Texas, man. East Texas. 3A school, small class. They can't play basketball until the kids from football come play. Small classification. 6'8", probably got a 7'2" wingspan. And he is one of the highest jumping kids I've ever seen in my life. Ever. And I haven't seen a lot of dudes, man.
Hey, I got a quick.
Okay.
Hey, Buff, I got a quick question for you. We speaking of these different guys from around Texas that you're covering. How do you get to see them all, and how have you been able to get connected to all these guys, man?
You got to move. You got to move around. You got to be in. So what I did was I went to Peach Jam last year. He played with Team Griffin, so I got a chance to see a lot of these kids. Like, I watched Cason Wallace play against Daimian Collins at Peach Jam. So I wanted to see them in that environment. Look at this kid, man. Small, like look at him, man. This is ridiculous, man. Look like a pterodactyl.
For real.
Just length and athleticism. And I'm gonna tell you one thing: a lot of people don't know he can do. That boy can really shoot the ball, man. Like he got nice touch. Played for Team Griffen. I saw him as a freshman when that kid probably weighed like 160 pounds, man. And he's really grown and gotten bigger. I actually did an article on him when he dropped his top 10 schools. I expect him to choose between OU, Texas, and Baylor. One of those three is going to get a kid. And I would be shocked if it wasn't OU or Texas. And I'm going to tell you why OU, because of the Team Griffen connection. The person on the front of his jersey for AAU was a big-time dude at OU. And UT has done such a phenomenal job with big kids like Mo Bamba and guys like that who kind of fit the same mold as Damion. And I think that they have a great selling point for him for that as well. So Daimian Collins is excitement, but I was able to see him at Peace Jam and build a relationship with him and his parents. Phenomenal kid too, man. Like dudes was flying into Dallas driving 2 hours, Alabama, Texas. Like everybody had to come see that kid. So Daimian Collins is definitely one of them. But back to Tyler's point as far as how I got so connected, just doing my job, man. Covering them, making sure they got the exposure that they needed when they played well. I never kill a kid. I tell a coach he may not be your level, but I'm not going to kill him either. So just building that relationship. And when you write articles kind of talking about what a kid does well in the game, most parents and kids tend to appreciate that, and they'll rock with you from that degree. Next up, Wade Taylor. Wade Taylor, Lancaster High School. One of the top 125 players in the country, according to Rivals. Made up arguably the best backcourt we had last year. He and Mike Miles. Wade has Texas A&M, Virginia Tech, dynamic speed in the open floor. One of the toughest guards I've seen in a long time. Elite on-ball defender, phenomenal hands, and he can shoot the ball out to 30 feet. Like, it's ridiculous. And I've actually watched Wade grow up since he was in 7th grade. And he's just gotten better every year, and he's one of the next up. So, Wade Taylor. Cason Wallace, who goes to Richardson High School with Rylan Griffen. Very underrated to a degree compared to other guys. Cracked the top 60 on ESPN for the 2022 class, so that's good for him moving forward. 6'4" point guard, and I might be jumping out too early, but think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Tough. Shoots it better than a lot of people give him credit for. Big-time athlete, long wingspan, phenomenal in ball screens. His cousin.
If that's the comparison that you're giving him, he got G like that?
SGA, dog. 2 years from now, tap in with me. 2 years from now, tap in with me on that one. Like I said, I done see how this movie played out. I know. I started with Cade Cunningham. I done seen this movie. Great bloodlines. Terrell Harris's cousin went to Oklahoma State and won a NBA championship with LeBron in Miami and D Wade and those guys. Other cousin Kendall Yancey went to Texas a couple of years back, and his older brother Keaton Wallace has already scored 1,800 points at UTSA going into his senior year next year. Great bloodlines on that kid, man. And I would not be shocked if Cason Wallace did not finish as the number one prospect in Texas over the next 2 years. Built different, tough, excellent defender, checks a lot of boxes. He's got offers from Baylor, A&M, Texas, Auburn. He got some big offers, man. Oklahoma. So he's done well. Who else I got for you? Colin Smith. Colin Smith, Southern Assault 16U, top 60 in the country. Michigan, Stanford, Baylor, Texas Tech. He got them all 6'8", wing type that can really shoot it off the catch. Big time athlete, tough. His older sister is actually going to Stanford on a volleyball scholarship. She's 6'4". So I would think Stanford would have a great chance at Colin. He goes to St. Mark's with Harrison. Super high academic kid, and he's definitely one of the best basketball prospects that we have in the state, no question. I think that's 10.
Yeah, I think so. Okay.
Hey, so we're getting closer to the end, but we finna put you on the spot, all right, Buff?
Right.
Give us your 3 guys out of the state of Texas who you're very high on, bro.
Number 1 was Felix, the kid I saw at Mocan this past weekend. Special talent, man. Special. That kid keep getting better, he going to be top 10 in the country real soon. Peyton Watson from Long Beach Poly. I wish I really got a chance to see that kid play this summer. Was going to play for Oakland Soldiers, 6'8", wing type, and he is literally just scratching the surface. Let me tell you why I'm going to give this kid a nod. Number 1, he can really play. Great measurables, tough kid, but he goes to Long Beach Poly. I know that staff over there, everything they get out of that kid, they're going to get it out of him. Secondly, the whole neighborhood has put their arms around that kid. Baron Davis, Pooh Jeter, Bobby Brown, James Harden. They expect him to. That's one thing we do in LA, and I see St. Louis does that too. The next one, everybody comes together. They make sure that kid get the best training. He eats well. They keep him out the neighborhood. He's with them playing one-on-one. Like, they do that. And I watch, like, Brad Beal and Tatum do that with BBE. Like, they are hands-on with that program, man.
Very hands-on.
Like Caleb Love, like he's one of the guys. You know what I'm saying? So that's important. I'm gonna tell you another city, that's Seattle. Those guys that come through Seattle, Nate, what's Nate's last name? Little Nate that played in the NBA.
Robinson.
Nate Robinson, Jamal Crawford, DeJounte Murray for the Spurs. They make sure that those guys that's supposed to get out of there, they get them out of there, man. They do. So Peyton Watson was definitely one. Last one, DJ Wagner. Phenomenal bloodlines, 14-year-old freshman, 6'3", a real bucket, just like his daddy was. His daddy was a couple of years, might have been a year or two after me.
Where are you playing at?
He's in Camden, New Jersey. Number 1 player in the country in 2023.
Goes to Camden.
Mm-hmm. Bad dude, man. Elite scorer of basketball.
Bad, man.
Elite scorer of basketball.
Hey, them jeans tell me you got to take a win on them.
Come on. Come on. So and he stays out of the camera, though. So you don't hear as much about DJ as you do a lot of other dudes, because you don't never see the film of the grind. I don't even know if the kid got a social media page, but he the goods. Like, DJ is the goods. So those are my 3 for sure.
No doubt. Man, it's been a pleasure.
Man, I appreciate
talking basketball with you. We're gonna have to come down there for real.
I mean, whenever I got something like that, we'd love to get y'all down here to cover it, interview the guys and stuff like that, man. We let this COVID kind of pass away.
No doubt.
And I'm going to always be lined up for you. We're going to have players in the gym. If I can't do nothing else, I can find them and I can get them all in the same gym.
No doubt.
But sure, I appreciate y'all, man.
I just want to say.
Go ahead.
Oh, my bad, Bo. I just want to say, Nothin But Net. We want to bring the best AAU directors on here to talk nothing but hoops. That's all we want to talk about. Who is the best of the best? Why are they the best in your area? How are you guys making sure you're elevating those guys? How do you evaluate talent? Writers, this is where you come. AAU directors, this is where you come. We're just sitting here talking, we chatting, and basically we want to pick your brain and see how did you get to where you are? You know what I mean? And how can we help elevate that next guy?
Man, hard work. And one thing about this business, do what you say you're going to do. If you come here flyer, you're going to give them T-shirts, make sure everybody get a T-shirt. If you say you're going to feed them, make sure everybody gets fed. If you say you're going to give them this matchup, give them that matchup. That goes a long way because a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people really don't do what they say they're going to do. So just be diligent. Tell the truth. Don't be biased. You know, I think I've grown quickly in this game because I don't have any bias. Like, I tell you exactly what I see, and that's what it is. It's no hate. It's no push. It's what I see consistently. And I have really grown in circles with college coaches just because they know they can come to me for the absolute truth. Like, it ain't I'm trying to push this kid on you because I'm in the mama or the daddy pockets. Or just listen, that money is going to come, man. But if you stay down and do it the right way, it's going to be the right money and people will respect you for it, you know?
And you're going to have longevity.
Right. And you can't
Hey,
worry
Buff,
about
you're not pushing any
no, what
you're
not?
not pushing any wild agendas, are you down
No.
there?
I don't have to. I don't have to. Like, one thing I done figured out in this game, and you know this is in any sport, that cream gonna rise, man. Some of us just know a little how to take the bread out the oven sooner than everybody else. I can see it. I can see it early. Like, I can see it. You know, and it's a gift. I really believe that. I really do believe that. And it's just doing right by people, man. Doing right by folk. Like, don't worry about being liked. Be respected. Be respected. Be respected because you work hard, you in the gyms, and you telling the truth. People respect that. Because people know if you put them tweets out or put out a report talking about the kid was playing well, he didn't play well, it's that quick you lose your credibility. And my name is on this. So I'm not, I could care less if somebody like me or not. At the end of the day, I got to be respected for my work. And that's most important to me, man. So listen, much success to you guys moving forward. Y'all sitting on the gym. I'm gonna be in the Midwest. That's an area I'm getting ready to start covering too. So I'll be out in high school basketball games because there's plenty of talent, but I also feel like it's kind of being underserviced right now as far as coverage and exposure.
That's exactly why we teamed up, because we felt like St. Louis didn't have enough coverage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we had guys who were falling under the radar. And it's something that's needed, you know, because a college coach can only recruit so much.
No question. No question. They need a lifeline for sure.
No doubt.
Success to you guys. Whenever y'all want me back on the show, call me. I'm locked in. We can't do this just one time, man.
Oh, no. We got to have you back for sure, man.
I was going to also say, hey, I also wanted to say my final thing, man. If you get an eval from Buff 9 times out of 10, man, your phone ringing in 2 days. That's that Buff effect, baby.
The Buff effect.
Hey, Nick Kern. I'll let you report. All right, fellas, y'all be easy, man.
Yes, sir. That is Buff, the TB5 report. Make sure you tune in, lock in, college coaches. Make sure you hit him up because he got the word for you. He got the word for you for sure. We'll be back next week.
Amateur sports, I see you on the court. But when you in the field, you ain't just got a score.
Yeah, 3-on-4, man.